Hello guys, full time in France. It is Rennes 3, Arsenal 1. Not a good result, not what I think any of us were anticipating or expecting. Not least after the first, 40 minutes or so, however long it was before Socrates was sent off. I thought Arsenal started this game well. I thought we looked confident in possession. I thought we looked dangerous in possession. And yet somehow we've left ourselves with a result that really has us hanging on to our Europa League status. What a pathetic state of affairs that we're hanging on to our Europa League status by a thread at this point. 3-1 down, and it's going to need a hell of a performance in the second leg to turn it round. Certainly a lot better than what we got for the majority of tonight. It started so well. Alex Iwobi, after some good play, we kind of overloaded on the right, then spread it to the left. Iwobi showed good control, held the ball up, looked for a cross into Aubameyang. Okay, didn't find his man, but it curled into the far corner. Lovely, his fifth goal of the season, and we were away. And to be honest, we probably... Sorry, my dog's making noise in the background. My mum's dogs, they're not my dogs. We probably ought to have had more in that first half. Aubameyang was pulled back for an offside that wasn't. And to be honest, his touch was off all night. If you were looking for a big response from him, a big comeback after missing the penalty in the derby, this was not it. He troubled them with his pace and his movement, but his touch was off. I would say, I think he has games like this, and I think usually we give him a bit more goodwill, but because he missed the penalty, there's a lot more criticism for him today. Often he plays like this and scores, It didn't happen for him today, and he looked miserable when he came off. I hope he was miserable with himself and not with the manager, because that's where he needs to look. The responsibility's on him. I think some responsibility has to go to Socrates as well. I know the second booking was a bit harsh. It looks like the other guy tangles with him. Well, firstly, his positioning's poor in the build-up. Secondly, he was spending the first half running around looking to be booked. I mean, he got away with one where he basically kicked a guy up the bum. The second one, all right, yeah, he tries to pull out for his top half, but he does dive in. You know that's the risk of a yellow card, especially with a player with quick feet like Ben Arfa. So I thought, especially given that he was kind of on that tightrope, he might have been a bit more careful. I guess you take the rough with the smooth with Socrates, and tonight was rough, and not the good kind of rough. What else can I say? We lost. So once we lost a man, obviously I thought we were unlucky a little bit because we were double punished. They effectively scored from the free kick. So it was a real 1-2 punch. And from that point on, we were rocking. And it was kind of crazy. I think the manager picked a good lineup. I think there are question marks over his substitutions in the game. Leaving Mkhitaryan on at right back for the whole match. Not sure how I feel about that. You could have brought on lots of options. You could have brought on Maitland-Niles. You could have brought on Kolasinac and put in Monreal in at centre-back alongside Koscielny. Kept Mustafi out on the right. I don't know. It was a huge ask of Mkhitaryan, and I thought he did okay, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for doing it, but in doing that and then bringing off Iwobi, Mkhitaryan and Iwobi are so important to the way we play going forward, and I think without them we sort of looked bereft of ideas. We didn't look like we knew how to break them down or how to even keep the ball. We also went very narrow with our shape, went to sort of a diamond in the midfield with Guendouzi coming on and Torreira, but that just gave loads of space to Rennes on the flank, and they exploited it. That's where they got pace, that's where they got power, that's where they got crossing ability, and frankly that's where they got their next two goals. One cross came in off Monreal, and then in the 87th minute another cross headed home by Sarr, who was a nightmare to play against. What are they doing? They're alright, they're looking for something. It was a nightmare to play against all day. He dived a lot, that was part of the problem, but he also headed in the third goal. God, it leaves us with a mountain to climb at this point. A huge amount of work to do if we are to get through. Blossom, come away. If we are to get through to the next round and the quarterfinals. They're worrying me. They're acting very suspicious. Huge amount of work to do, and I think we can do it. A 2-0 win is enough to take us through. Imagine that, 2-0, a clean sheet. We can do it, but the next two games, we've said this a few times, but this is true. The next two games will define our season. Manchester United at home in the Premier League, that really will have a massive part in if we make the top four or not. And then, of course, the second leg of Rennes. And these have been a big sequence of games, and it might catch up with us in terms of our legs. We didn't rotate loads tonight. Koscielny's got to play again on Sunday. Of course, I worry about that kind of thing. He'll have to play again the following Thursday, you'd think. It's a big test for Unai Emery. I think he's done a lot in the last few weeks to sort of turn things around for him and, I think it was a really creditable performance in the derby against Spurs. Tonight, less good. I think, a lot of contributing factors, bad luck, bad decisions, bad performances from individuals. But going out to Rennes would be a disaster. There's no two ways about it. So we need a massive turnaround. I'm going to go and do the Arsecast now, talk about this game more. Why not? Maybe it'll be cathartic. I'm going to fix myself a stiff drink and find out what on earth these dogs are up to. In fact, before I do, let's put them on camera. This one's Daisy. Daisy, you're going on camera. Here's Daisy. Any thoughts on the game? Speechless, much like myself. And Blossom, who is being the more suspicious of the two, and is a bit more camera shy. There she is, Blossom. What do you think of Tottenham? Sure. There you go. Right. Maybe the dog's cheered you up. Something's got to, hasn't he? Right. Bye.